or hopped on a train, right? And
Yeah.
it makes you think, like, who keeps these things clean? With like thousands of people squeezing in here every day, someone's got to be dealing with the coffee spills and the stray newspapers and all that. Yeah, the grime, the grime.
Yeah.
So today we're doing a deep dive on the people who make that happen, the often overlooked train cleaners.
Yeah.
And to guide our deep dive, we are using RoleCatcher's Career Guide for train cleaners. So if you are fascinated by essential jobs, or maybe you love behind-the-scenes looks at how things work, or maybe you just really hate a dirty train car, this one's for you.
It really is interesting. We talk about cleaning and you think, oh, just wiping things down. But when you actually look at what a train cleaner does, it's a lot more involved than that.
Yeah.
It's
And physically demanding.
uh,
The RoleCatcher Guide talks about how much time you spend standing, walking, bending, and potentially in really confined spaces.
yeah,
Like while people are trying to get by you.
right. And working around the train crew,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
all that while they're doing their work too. So
Right.
yeah,
Wow.
it takes a lot.
So much going on.
Yeah, and the keen eyes, they use this example in the guide
Okay.
of a train cleaner.
Okay.
And they were talking about how they would methodically clean compartments, like go through and make sure the bins were clear.
Okay.
And then on top of that, be proficient with all the different kinds of cleaning equipment.
Right.
There's more than just
Yeah.
one thing. You got to know how to use all these different things.
Right.
And then even little things like making sure the handrails are properly disinfected.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't think about that, but
Yeah.
you're basically setting the stage for thousands of commuters every single day to have a safe and comfortable journey. It's amazing.
Really, like you're setting the stage for their day.
Yeah.
You're helping them get where they need to go and be comfortable and safe while they're doing it. And this is a job that might be on the verge of a pretty big change.
Really?
Yeah.
Because robots are coming for the cleaning carts? I knew it.
Uh,
The RoleCatcher Guide mentions this whole section on technology advances.
yeah.
And I got to say, I am very curious about this.
Yeah, you're right on the money there. They talk about how robots and AI are becoming more and more common in the cleaning industry. So
Mhm.
just imagine like robotic mops
Right.
that can get into those tight spaces between the seats that, are hard for people to reach.
Right.
Or even AI systems that could plan out the most efficient routes for cleaning a whole train.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
it's definitely changing.
Wow. That's amazing. But what happens to all the amazing human cleaners if we've got robots doing it all?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? That's the big question that everyone's grappling with is how do
Yeah.
we balance this drive for efficiency
Right.
with the need to make sure that people have jobs and
Yeah.
making sure that there are opportunities for people even as technology changes.
It's a tough one for sure. And it makes you think about this whole like trend towards automation
Yeah.
that we're seeing like
Right.
everywhere you look, basically.
Yeah, it's not just limited to cleaning, it's happening
Right.
in manufacturing and all sorts of fields.
Right.
And it's really about, how do we adapt to these changes?
Yeah. How do we make sure that we're using this technology to our advantage,
Mhm.
but also protecting those who might be displaced by it?
Exactly. It's about finding that balance.
Right. So speaking of finding balance, the RoleCatcher Guide also mentioned something that really surprised me, which is that there's actually potential for career growth in this field.
Mhm.
I will admit, I kind of assumed the train cleaner was a pretty static role.
Yeah.
Like you start there and you kind of stay there.
Yeah, it's easy to think that,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
The guide actually talks about how you can move up to a team leader role where you would be supervising
Mhm.
and coordinating the work of other cleaners.
Okay.
So there's some management potential there.
Wow.
And then also as this new wave of technology comes in, there's going to be a need for people who are trained
Mhm.
in operating and maintaining these cleaning robots
Yeah.
and AI systems.
So you could become like a specialist
Yeah,
in high-tech cleaning robots.
exactly. You could be the go-to person
Yeah.
for that kind of technology.
That's amazing. So you're saying like that could be the key to job security in the future?
It's definitely possible.
Wow.
And it really speaks to this broader trend that RoleCatcher emphasizes, which is that specialization is becoming more and more valuable
Right.
across the
So
board.
it's not just about being good at one thing. It's about being like really good at a very specific niche.
Exactly. You got to find your niche and really
Uh-huh.
own it.
It's like that old saying, jack of all trades, master of none is getting flipped on its head. It's more like master one thing really well, and you will be indispensable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that actually brings us to another interesting point, which is preparing for a job interview. In the age of AI and algorithms.
Oh, right. Because even getting your foot in the door is a whole different ballgame these days.
It is.
Yeah.
You've got these automated recruiting systems now.
Oh, yeah, the bots.
Yeah.
They're scanning your resume
Right.
before a human even sees it.
Exactly. They're looking for keywords, and they're trying to match you to the job description.
Right, so you got to make sure you're speaking their language.
Wow.
Speaking of speaking their language, RoleCatcher actually included some sample interview questions, specifically for train cleaners, which I thought was fascinating. Like, what kind of questions are they asking these days?
Well, one that stood out to me was, how do you ensure you meet health and safety standards when cleaning trains?
Oh, that makes sense. Because you're working with cleaning products, you're potentially in a confined space.
Exactly.
Safety has to be paramount.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
And it shows potential employers that you're not just there to clean. You understand the importance of maintaining a safe environment
Right.
for yourself and for the passengers.
It's not just about being a clean freak. It's about being responsible clean freak.
Exactly.
I like that.
And another question they highlighted was, how do you manage your time effectively when cleaning trains?
Okay, because time is of the essence.
Right.
When you've got to get that train sparkling clean before the next rush hour hits.
Exactly. You've got to be efficient.
Yeah.
You've got to be organized.
Right.
And you've got to be able to stick to a tight schedule.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting. This ties back to what we were talking about earlier with the AI and the technology. Remember those automated recruiting systems?
Yeah.
The bots that are scanning your resume?
Yeah.
RoleCatcher also had a whole section on using AI to optimize your resume. So even for a train cleaner, you got to be thinking about your digital footprint.
Right. It's not just about what you can do with a mop and a bucket anymore.
It's like you're a tech worker, almost.
In a way, yeah, you got to be tech savvy.
It's wild.
But it makes sense when you think about it. I mean, your resume is like your digital storefront.
Okay.
It's the first impression you make.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure it's a good one.
Right, you got to stand out.
Yeah. Exactly, especially with those algorithms scanning everything.
Yeah, it's like you got to learn how to speak algorithm,
Right.
along with all your other skills.
It's all about presenting yourself in the best possible light, but tailoring it to this digital age.
Wow. So to wrap up our deep dive into the world of train cleaners, I have to say I have a newfound appreciation for what these folks do.
Yeah, they're really the unsung heroes of our public transportation system.
It's physical, it's detail-oriented, it's increasingly tech-driven.
And it's essential.
It really is. So next time you're on a train and you see a clean car, think about the hard work that went into making that happen.
Yeah, give them a nod.
And if this deep dive sparked your curiosity about other essential jobs,
Or just how to navigate this crazy job market.
be sure to check out RoleCatcher's Career Guide. They've got a ton of great resources on all sorts of career paths, from the ins and outs of the job itself to how to ace that interview.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Until next time, thanks for joining us.